Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us all today. We have attendees here from all over the world with us. Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, India, the UK, France, the Philippines, Thailand, Australia, and even New Zealand. So thank you for joining us, whatever time it is for you where you are today. In scope for our discussion today is mobile commerce, specifically in-app tracking versus mobile browser tracking, and how we utilize both for affiliate marketing to track consumer shopping behavior. On the call today, we've got publishers, retailers, and affiliate networks all listening in, and we'll do our best to cover the different perspectives and objectives for each of you. There'll be a Q&A after the panel discussion. So if you have any questions that arise during the discussion, please pop them in the QA options at the bottom of the screen, and we'll address them towards the end of the discussion. So to kick off, I'd like to introduce you to myself and the panel we have today. And I'd ask each of the panel, when you introduce yourself, I'd love you to share with everyone on the call what your favorite app is. So not from a professional perspective, doesn't have to be shopping related, just in general, what's your favorite app? Tell us why you love it. So starting with myself, I'm the director of APAC for Skimlinks. I head up our publisher development and growth for the region. And by growing our publishers, we also grow the revenue for our merchant and retail partners also. My favorite app is Rain Parrot, which with scary accuracy tells you when it rains. It sends this really cool notification, just booming Rain Parrot with this notification. So you desperately know, well, if it's about to rain, you can desperately run out and take the washing off the line or make sure you pop an umbrella in your bag. But it's really accurate. It's worth however many dollars it costs in your country. So that's my app recommendation for the day. I'll throw it over to you, Cenila, to introduce yourself and tell us what your favorite app is.
Thank you, Jade. Hello, everyone. I'm Cenila from Yahoo Hong Kong. I'm the head of lifestyle and commerce for Yahoo Hong Kong. I manage all the sub-content channel, including style, travel, food deals, and of course, affiliate commerce business. My favorite app, well, it has to be our Yahoo app, our all-in-one consolidating app, which has news, sub-content, shopping information, and also have a membership centers and reward scheme to engage with our audience. The app is also a strong partner for our affiliate commerce business and retailers.
Great. Thanks so much, Cenila. Jenny?
Yeah, hi, everyone. I'm Jenny from Rakuten Advertising. I'm a manager of publisher partnerships in APAC and I'm based in Singapore. Very happy to be here today. And I also wanted to give a big thanks to Skimlinks for organizing this, such important discussion to have. And in terms of my favorite app, I have to say it's still the social media apps like Instagram. And as a new mom with a toddler who's turning 3 very soon, I'm getting a lot of advice that I need, but to be a first-time mom on how to handle tantrums, what to feed my child. I get so many recipe ideas and how to handle tantrums. So this is just like validation that I need to survive. So yeah, thank you. Thank you to all the moms that share those pieces of advice and keep me sane.
I don't think anyone's cracked on how to stop or solve for tantrums, but good luck trying.
Yeah.
Over to you, Laurence.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here. Very honored that I can join this panel discussion with everyone. So I work with Jade at Skimlinks publisher team. I'm publisher account manager. I manage enterprise publishers in APAC. So for me, my favorite app would have to be dating apps, I would say. Hinge, have you ever used Hinge? Anyone? So I think dating apps definitely saved my social life during COVID when nobody was allowed to go out. So that was the only way I can find people to talk to. I mean, it sounds a bit miserable, but that's really how I spend most of my time talking to people. But now I'm in a relationship, so that's also thanks to dating apps. So I really think that's a very good app. Yeah. Thanks.
Great success story, Laurence. I guess I'll hand over to Laurence now to take us through some insights. So what we're going to cover today is in-app tracking and some industry insights and some Skimlinks data as well too, and why it's important for us in affiliate marketing. And then we'll have a panel discussion and then we'll head over to check out your questions and we'll do our best to answer any of those. Over to you, Laurence.
Yeah, thanks, Jade. So as Jade just mentioned, before we get into the panel discussion time, I would want to use a few minutes to talk about why in-app tracking now is really important I hope to use this few minutes to inspire everyone here to think, encourage the exchange of ideas, also to raise your questions if you have any, so that we can eventually have a very meaningful conversation today. So as I just introduced myself, I work with Jade in the publisher team. I manage enterprise publishers in APAC, and so I will start sharing my experiences with Hong Kong publishers first. Actually, so Skimlinks, we started our affiliate business in APAC in Hong Kong back in 2019, 4 years ago, and we have Cenila here today from Yahoo Hong Kong. Yahoo Hong Kong is actually one of our very first affiliate partners in the region, and we've been working together since the very beginning. And that's when Yahoo started building their affiliate channel from scratch. So that's 4 years ago. And over the past 4 years, we've definitely seen the growth. I think even I can use the word upsurge in mobile traffic. So publishers started publishing content more on the social media channels, on their own apps. And I think that's also there's also this change in terms of consumer behavior as well. People started reading content on their mobile more than ever. I think one of the very big facilitator was definitely the pandemic. We have all experienced that together. When we were locked in homes, we can only we have to read content on our mobiles, and that's also people started reading content on their mobile, and naturally, I would say spontaneously, they started to buy things on their mobile as well. So that's from our side, we've definitely seen the growth in-app purchase with the growth of mobile content consumption as well. So from our side, there's a very interesting insight. Actually, among the top 40 merchants with shopping apps right now locally in Hong Kong, actually only 28% of them have enabled in-app tracking. That means this 72% still haven't started doing that, haven't done that. So for me, I really think that's a missed opportunity for merchants, because I think for many, we have a lot of publishers attending this webinar today. For many publishers, I mean, Celina, you can have definitely feel this from your own experiences. For merchants, those for those merchants who haven't enabled in-app tracking, that's really I think the missing part is really attribution. So when you write an article for them and you see your readers reading your content on mobile, buying things in the app, but you didn't get any attribution, I think that's really frustrating for publishers. That's really the missing part. And naturally, publishers started gradually will have to prioritize merchants with in-app tracking. So for those merchants who haven't done this, I think it's really just missed opportunity. In terms of revenue and in reporting. And in affiliate marketing, I would say in marketing, in advertising, attribution is really important. That's why we're saying in-app tracking is really important, because there's really just we're all trying to adapt to the change of consumer behavior and to the new trend. Next slide, please. Yes. So it's not just people's reading habits changing, people's shopping habits changing as well. So you can see that on this slide it says the total shopping revenue in the app market is projected to reach $46 billion in 2027. Actually, as I just mentioned, in the last few years, the pandemic is really an accelerator for people to shop, to read content, to shop on their mobiles. I think also from our experiences, there are, when we think of, what are the, good things about app shopping? I mean, we can all probably say a few things from our experiences. It's easier, it's quicker, and you've got a lot of personalized recommendations in the app as well, because you logged in, they remember your data, they can analyze your behavior as well. So I think that's also one reason. Also, from my personal experience, I think another very important reason is the advent of social media and the advent of 4G, 5G as well. So I remember when I grew up in China, I studied in China as well. So I remember almost 10 years ago, 2013, that was actually the year when the 4G in China was officially put in commercial use. So I remember as a uni student, I was so excited that I can, use my phone to watch live stream, to watch influencers live stream anytime I want, to watch videos, to shop online, to talk to my friends, video chat, FaceTime. So I think that's 4G, the internet, the internet speed, the response time is, also accelerate the whole process for me to shop online, to shop within apps. I think that's why app is becoming more and more popular today, even in the future with 5G and everything. I think app is definitely the future. It enables so many things that we could have even dreamed before. Next slide, please. Yes, so within this trend, APAC is definitely the leading. APAC is definitely leading the game. There are some different factors as well. So here you can see mobile commerce accounted for more than 8%, accounting for 80% of APAC's e-commerce retail sales. This is very true. From Skimlinks, so we work with some of the biggest publishers in Taiwan and Hong Kong, including Yahoo Hong Kong. So in Taiwan, especially over in 2021, 2022, we saw this very interesting thing. So with some of the biggest merchants, I wouldn't mention names, but activewear brands, during the biggest shopping events, during Singles Day and Black Friday, the sales from the mobile, so the sales from the mobile channel for them usually can go as high as 70%, 75%. So that's really only very few sales, only 25% of the sales, less than 25% of the sales actually come from desktop. That's when you realize, wow, people really are shopping, within apps and on their mobiles just to quickly get the sales. Because sometimes, during those events, during Singles Day, Black Friday, the sales are very limited. You have a very limited time. Maybe sometimes you didn't even realize, then your friends send you a notification saying, hey, this sale is going on, are you buying anything? But you're probably on a subway, you're on a cab, or you're partying with other friends in other people's house. You couldn't get access to your computer. So that's when you can just quickly get out your phone and then start shopping online. I think that's also one of the interesting scenario when you have to shop online during these events. And we definitely see this trend with Skimlinks as well. And another reason why APAC is leading the game is definitely because of the contactless payment. And here you can see that China is the global leader for contactless payment. I would say not just demand in China, this market, in other markets as well. I would say in APAC, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, the mobile payment is really advanced. For myself, when I was actually living in China, I'm right now based in London, but when I was actually living in China, I stopped using digital. I stopped using actual cash ever since, I would say 2013, 2014, because we have Alipay, we have WeChat Pay, and all the shopping apps supports these two different payments as well. So really that's also the main reason why I use buy things in app, because I can just check out very quick, and I don't have to type in all my card information, remember all the numbers, digits. Yeah, that's also a very big reason why everyone in APAC now they prefer to shop within the apps. Next slide, please. Yeah, so here I would ask you to share your experience as well at the panel. So here I really want to know what are the pros and cons for shopping in apps versus mobile browser. So first I'll start with my experiences. I can think of definitely some of the the pros of shopping apps, because I personally I prefer shopping apps. I think the first thing is as I just mentioned previously, is the personalized experience. Because within app, you can the user experience is just so much better compared to web browser, because they remember you, they have your login information, you don't have to log in all the time. Because for me, I'm not very comfortable with saving all my password in my browser. I don't trust cloud. Just for me, probably I don't know about the younger generation, but for me, I prefer to write password down, or just save it in a third-party app. That's what I do. but within app, I can just use my Face ID. So I can just log in anytime I want with my face. I trust my Face ID. So I think that's when they have they have camera, they have everything, so they can recommend very personalized products. You find a range of products within app and discounts as well. And also the security is another reason. Also the quick checkout is also another reason. Right now the only time when I really go to the web browser is when I want to quickly check something, when I quickly know when I want to know the price, or I want to know what it looks like. But I will usually, after a check on my web browser on my phone, I will usually, wait sometime. Then I buy in my app or buy on the desktop, because I'm not really comfortable spending a lot of money on my web browser. That's just me. Yeah. What about everyone else? Is there any particular thing that you like about the apps? Oh yeah. So yeah, just to save a bit time, I'll just quickly go through the next slide. Yes. So yeah. So last but not least, so here we are really seeing our publishers are diversifying the mobile distribution channel as well. So you can see we have social media, we have Facebook, Instagram. In Taiwan market, in Korea we have Line, and in mainland China, not mentioned here, but we have Little Red Book, which is definitely #1 influence marketing app in China right now, and we have WeChat with other apps as well. And for Yahoo, correct me if I'm wrong, Cenila, I think Yahoo Hong Kong is probably because Yahoo has a lot of domains internationally, but I think Yahoo Hong Kong is probably the only one domain with its own app right now on the market. Compared to other domains globally. So I think that's very important. And also we have Cosmart today. That's a mobile web browser from Cosmopolitan Hong Kong. I think those, publishers' own apps, web browsers, and social media really offered merchants a optimization options when it comes to tendencies, flat fees. And we've just had a very successful shopping event with Yahoo 666 shopping event, and a lot of merchants are actually requesting specific placement in the app in the tendency packages. So I think that's something that really set Yahoo apart from other publishers, because merchants can simply get more options and placements. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the last page, really, I just want to say to all merchants that our publishers are trying very hard to adapt to the trend. They're publishing content on mobile channel more than ever. They're writing, the shorter format, in order to cater to the reader's reading habit, and that's they've done their part. So I really want to state merchants that it's really a great time to enable your in-app tracking, to seize this missed opportunity to get prioritized in affiliate marketing channel. And I think definitely you can see great results. And I hope that my short introduction would inspire you to exchange ideas in the panel discussion time. Thanks, Jade. Over to you.
Great. Thanks so much, Laurence. Yeah, I guess the main takeaway there is, I think that, penetration for in-app tracking for mobile isn't high enough. And then, if merchants aren't adopting that, which I'm sure we'll hear the reasons why shortly, that publishers are going to prioritize merchants who do have that in-app tracking so they don't lose attribution too. So I think it's definitely, I guess, the data and the statistics show us mainland China and Greater China as certainly leading the way globally in terms of shopping on mobile browsers and in app too. So it'd be great to hear a little bit more too in the answers in the panel now. Yeah, how other markets outside mainland and Greater China can learn, given we've got a bit of a crystal ball into the future from perhaps like what Yahoo Hong Kong has done, or Jenny, what you see with merchants in the region too. So let's jump into a discussion, starting with you, Cenila. So can you talk us through the various distribution channels in mobile and how Yahoo Hong Kong utilizes each of those?
Okay, sure. There are many distribution channels on mobile available. Take Yahoo Hong Kong as an example. We distribute our contents on our mobile web, our mobile apps. We have a news app for hard news, and we also have the Yahoo app that Laurence just mentioned for soft content and shopping informations. We have our social channels. We have our Facebook and IG pages. We also distribute our commerce content via our shopping EDMs twice per week, and also in search results through our evergreen content. As mobile is dominant content consumption channels in our daily lives, it is important to leverage all the touch points to provide relevant content and timely information for our audience on the go.
Okay, and do you see what kind of differences in consumer behavior do you see then across all those different distribution channels, like at different times of the day or week, and how do you adopt your content strategy to that?
We don't really have a separate mobile content strategies versus desktop, because our content is responsive to multi-devices and viewable on laptop, tablets, and mobile with proper image resizing and also action buttons for shopping conversions. Instead, we have different day parting throughout the day for soft content and commerce content. So normally users are more focused on hard news in the morning, and they tend to consume like soft contents or shopping related information in the afternoon or evening. So what our editors does is we schedule contents according to the content consumption pattern of our audience in order to maximize their engagement. And of course, considering the smaller screen size on mobile and tablet devices, it is important to pay attention to their text size and also the image design to make sure that they're both visible and clear on multi-screen environments. Another interesting finding was we used to see like declines in content consumption during non-office hour in the past. But with the strong mobile penetration and usage nowadays, we observe consistent content consumptions on mobile devices even after office hour or over the public holidays. Pick our recent Yahoo shopping event, 666 shopping event as an example, when we offer attractive and up-to-date like shopping recommendations and discounts and best deals over the weekends. We were able to achieve conversions and GMV over the weekend comparable to weekdays.
Okay, so I'm assuming as a news publisher, your total audience is smaller on the weekend, but you're saying that propensity to shop is higher on the weekends though, so that's when you generated the most revenue.
I would say it is at par with weekdays.
Okay.
With the support of the mobile devices, we are able to maintain a steady consumption level, regardless it's a holiday or working day.
Okay, fantastic. And then, tell me a bit more about how your editorial team creates articles around, you said they're not writing, the articles are responsive, so it's not purpose written for mobile, but is there anything else in the way your editorial team operates around mobile of note to mention?
Yahoo has long developed soft content channels available. We have style, travel, food, and deals channel. So our editorial team are very experienced in various soft content categories. They have good sense and insights around what our user like and their preference and interests towards various content categories. So in the past 4 years, our editors have experimented with different editorial angles, experiment different brands, product categories for commerce contents. And we continuously review the performance and accumulate shopper insights as a strong foundation for our best editorial practice, as well as what other the best brands or products to cover, the latest trend or hot style in town, at a good price, at a price like lower than local market is always a good starting point to attract user attention. Users search for information when they need something on the go, which is very different from their browsing behavior on the laptop, right? When you're on the go, you need something, you search for it. So it's very important to put ourselves in their shoes and imagine what information would be useful or helpful for them on the go. So top search keywords trends are useful in content creation. This provides insights of the latest trending brands, items, styles, or even merchants, which we could create relevant content coverage. Our editors also created a series of evergreen shopping guides or like monthly recommendations listicle for the popular brands, product categories, such as like buffet. We also create a list of like top 10, the best buy and how-to guide to facilitate online shopping if they are new, if they are not familiar with particular brands or merchants or sites. So users can always refer to us when they want to shop something or when they need something.
Okay, so Yahoo's really a shopping destination in a way then too. And so how do you see the importance of apps as a revenue source? So in terms of percentage of traffic or percentage of overall revenue?
As Laurence just shared, APAC is really ahead of the world in terms of mobile usage and penetration. And according to Statista research, like 90% of people over 10 years old in Hong Kong own the smartphones. So compared to US or EU, APAC is really leading the game in global mobile usage and application usage. So take Yahoo Hong Kong as an example. Nearly half of the clicks generated from their commerce contents were from mobile. It's a very substantial portion. While US or EU, like Laurence has shared with me earlier, is like around 20%, which is way lower than us. So reflecting that like in Western countries, PC usage is still dominant. But considering the content consumption on mobile in APAC, which is very high, as I just mentioned, if you talk about page view, the proportion is even higher than half. So that's why we see mobile as a very important source of revenue, and it has high potential to grow, especially for affiliate commerce. So recently, we actually noticed a more aggressive approach for local retailers to promote their mobile apps in store. For example, a leading Japanese leisure clothing brand, they actively like broadcasting their app download message in store. When you check out, the staff keep encourage you to download app for coupons or discount, right? No doubts that mobile apps are good for loyalty and retention, right? As Laurence also shared earlier, it gives a more engaged and much better user experience. So we are actually happy to see more merchants offering better shopping experience on app, right? Publishers like Yahoo could be great partners with these retailers to drive a better shopping ecosystem, actually, in the long run. However, I would also like to highlight that a fair reward for publishers in driving conversions to retailers' mobile apps are crucial to sustain our long-term partnership, right? Because our continuous coverage of Best Buy recommendations from our retailers, we need to ensure the investment of our resources and exposure, and this has opportunity costs, right? So the absence of app tracking and a fair share of rewards for publishers would definitely impact our decisions to cover certain retailers or not. We need to prioritize to justify our company investment. And besides like a fair share of CPA, app tracking could also provide insights for a publisher about shoppers' preference, which we could also leverage to continuously improve our content coverage and relevancy in order to optimize the conversion of affiliate business in the long run.
Okay. Thanks. So I think what I'm hearing there's always that age-old tension between publishers and merchants or retailers, sometimes with different program terms and publishers being fairly rewarded for the work they do. It is a performance channel after all, so we only get paid when we drive a sale, and we work very hard to do that for key retail partners. So I think if there's any retailers on the call, please pop in the QA or let us know some reasons or challenges you have around that in-store messaging. As a digital publisher, we're not directly driving online sales, but I guess we are kind of creating raising awareness and telling people what to buy from these retailers. So to send them in store where they're downloading apps that we're ultimately not getting attribution for, how do we work together better as partners to drive that? So I think if downloading apps is something that's important for retailers, let's get that in-app tracking activated and reward publishers for driving downloads as well too. We can do that, right? With anything, with our content, we can, we're great at closing sales, or it's a sale, it's a download. So keen to hear and unpack more of that in the Q&As if we can. And before we jump over to Jenny to hear more about the merchant and affiliate network perspective, Laurence, you've had experience across the different markets in China, Taiwan, London, working for Skimlinks, and in a personal capacity too. Can you tell us a little bit in particular what you've observed with the mobile trends in Taiwan?
So first of all, it's interesting that Cenila just mentioned that in Hong Kong, people over 10 years old have their mobile phone. I was thinking, is it the right age to give your kids a phone? Maybe it's a bit too early.
Well, but they do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
wait until
reality.
you have kids, Laurence, and
Regardless
then
is
you'll
right
hear all
or
about
wrong.
it.
yes. Yeah, that means kids are reading the content on the phone as well. So with Taiwan publishers, I first see the change on the merchant side. So recently a beauty merchant reached out to us, and then they want to have a tenancy package with Taiwan publishers. They specifically only want placements on their mobile channel, within the lines, the social media app. So I think it's interesting that we've never had this kind of request before. So mostly we have a tenancy package, with placements on their desktop or mobile browser. So with only social media packages is the first time. And more merchants are actually doing that. Yahoo Hong Kong is offering the tenancy, on their app as well. So with Taiwan trends, I would say in activewear and shoes, and with also products with smaller price unit, cheaper products, people are really started buying on their phones. I would say activewear, shoes, and also vitamins, wellness, healthcare, in these two categories, and also travel, booking hotels and, experiences, tickets. So I think these three, different verticals, we see the sales number from, mobile are definitely higher than other verticals, such as fashion, because, especially luxury items is much bigger, amount of money. So people are more comfortable spending this on the desktop. So on phone, I'm really seeing people buying vitamins, buying shoes, buying tickets and hotels. That's the trend I'm seeing in Taiwan right now.
Okay, great, thank you. And Jenny, over to you then. So the mobile adoption trends you're seeing in APAC across Rakuten's merchants, do you have any key insights to share, and what do you see as the gaps and opportunities in APAC?
Yeah, so for Rakuten advertising as well, I think it's similar to what Cenila and as well as Laurence have mentioned. We do see in reality it is a low adoption for our merchants as well. And in terms of like our merchants' needs, they do know the importance of in-app tracking. They, as affiliate marketing managers, they are very aware of the importance. However, in terms of implementing in-app tracking, sometimes they see a bottleneck in terms of getting support from their tech resources. So if they see that, oh, I need to enable in-app tracking, then I need to get tech resources to implement it. And sometimes they have limited in-house tech resource, or even they have to fight against like other regions, not just from APAC, not just from affiliate, but from a global perspective. So sometimes it's challenging to hear that it's that they have limited tech resource and they have to fight and build a stronger business case to secure that tech resource. So that's kind of like the key pushbacks that we have been hearing. But in terms of what Rakuten advertising can offer, there are like different ways to implement it. So there are some easier ways as well as some that requires a bit more tech resources. So I think we have to try to find a way that we can do this so that we're not lagging behind in terms of in-app tracking.
Yeah, absolutely. And what so yeah, you kind of covered a bit like why they need to enable it. So those people in-house who are fighting their own tech teams to get it prioritized on their product roadmaps, what's the business casing or the rationale they use to motivate for that internally?
Yeah, so I think the key benefits and the need that the merchants actually have to adopt this is, I think a lot of it was covered earlier by Cenila and Laurence as well. So I think, again, in APAC, we're very different from the rest of the world. Mobile is really the king, and this should not be overlooked. And the longer we take maintaining status quo and not adopting it, the longer we will be behind the user trend. So why not, take the step to, action on this and not have that missed opportunity, because by not acting on it, it is an opportunity cost. And in terms of the affiliate marketing space as well, we are not rewarding publishers fairly, as what Cenila mentioned as well, right? So we have to continue to build an industry where we grow together rather than still being very dominant in the desktop world, the web world. And we will also see some challenges in terms of tracking too. So if we don't do more in-app tracking, then we will fall behind. So rewarding publishers fairly so that they can also write the content that is converting and is also helpful for the users. And we will bring clarity in terms of the performance rather than having a black box. So we can see the performance on desktop, mobile web, but if app remains as a black box, then it's not allowing us to grow together as an industry. So I think that is very, very key in terms of bringing clarity and rewarding publishers fairly. And from a user's perspective too. So if we do have in-app tracking enabled, they will also have a very seamless experience too. So in terms of the app tracking link, it's the same affiliate link, and users can get diverted to the web or mobile web or the app, depending on or the app store, depending on the user's phone settings too. So it's a very seamless user experience, and by having that end-to-end tracking, then the users can benefit as well as the publishers and the merchants too. So the whole ecosystem grows together.
Okay, yeah, I think you nailed it there. I couldn't have said it any. I don't think any of us could say it better than you. Yeah, you summed it up there. Yeah, because it's really, I think if you're an affiliate manager for a retailer or merchant as well too, right, you're not able to accurately report back to your business like where those app sales are coming from. Because as you say, yeah, it's a black box too. So you're not sure like where your marketing efforts and money is well spent and where it's not if you're blind to that. So Laurence, let's chat a bit about Skimlinks and what kind of support we offer around in-app tracking and visibility and mobile browser.
So first of all, as we work with a lot of blue chip titles in the region, we offer full transparency in terms of reporting, and we also offer publishers a revenue source report in our Publisher Hub, so you can download it right directly from Skimlinks dashboard. So within the revenue resource, reporting, can actually right now, if you have sales coming from social media channels, we can actually we already have it in the report right now. You can see it directly. In terms of reporting, we definitely will support this. No matter where your sales is from, and we already have this implemented some of the functionalities in the report as well. And also for us, I also wanted to mention that in the future, why app tracking is important, because Skimlinks, we use first party data, first party cookie, always. That's how we can also support this as well. So within app environment, I think developers can develop much more functions in terms of tracking, in terms of consumer behavior analytics. I think those are very important in a post third party cookie world as well. So that's how we can support publishers and merchants in terms of reporting.
Okay, fantastic. And then Jenny, do you have any successful case studies you could share with merchants who have enabled in-app tracking?
So in terms of the adoption, because this is still very low, but we do have some merchants who have enabled it, and we can see the tracking in terms of is the click, is the order being tracked on iOS or Android. So we have that visibility, and we can run campaigns to optimize that more. So in terms of like the actual numbers, I can't share over this, but we do see benefits of having that. So you can run campaigns to install the app, or just beyond installing too, you can drive campaigns in terms of app orders too. So if you want to have a specific campaign just to drive app orders, we can set that up as well. So having that visibility, having that clarity will enable you to do that and open up the black box. So we hope that by having this discussion and sharing the insights here, that we can get more adoption. And I guess I can also add in a bit more in terms of like how to do it as well, because like I've mentioned that sometimes our advertisers will say that they have limited tech resource. Then what are other options that we have? So we have a few options in terms of enabling it. One is using our Rakuten advertising proprietary SDK. That does take a bit of like a mid-range effort for the tech resources to get this SDK embedded into the app and push it to the app store. So that does take a bit of tech resource, but there are other ways too. So if your mobile app does have existing mobile measurement tools like adjust, branch, button, apps flyer, if you have those already, that does not require any tech resources because that's already there. So we just need to do a bit of configuration with our tech specialists. So there's no additional tech resource needed for that option. The tracking capabilities is not the most, but we can still track like install orders as well. We won't be able to see like item level to that granularity, but we can still see installs and orders tracking. So we can start from there. That option has zero additional tech resource needed. So that's a quick way to just get that journey started and see what's the conversion like. And then if we do need to have a bit more advanced tracking, then we can have that discussion later on. But the key takeaway here is that there are easy ways to do it. Let's get that conversation going and get started on this.
Okay, great. Yeah, so don't make assumptions that it's hard or your tech team won't prioritize it or put it on the roadmap. It can be easier than you think. So that's great. So if you're a merchant now listening in today or a retailer, what should be the first thing you go away now and do to motivate for this internally? And then one for Cenila too. Why should you start now in APAC? So Jenny, we'll go to you first.
I think I've touched a bit earlier just now. So one is really to check, does your app have existing mobile measurement tools? If yes, then talk to us and we can get that going. And if you do see a substantial amount of traffic and orders coming in from mobile, let's prioritize that and don't miss out on in terms of building longer term and clear relationships with the publishers. So the first key takeaway is check whether you have that existing tool. If you do, then we can actually get started very quickly.
Okay, great. Yes, Cenila, why should we start now?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, APAC is very well developed in terms of mobile infrastructure, and we have a super high smartphone penetration, and providing an excellent pilot ground for merchants and retailers to develop their mobile commerce strategies and to set up their mobile tracking mechanism. So the successful model can actually replicate globally, and benefits are in other markets as the mobile penetration catch up in the US or in the EU. So I would really encourage our retailers to start now, talk to Jenny, and see how to quickly enable this mechanism as soon as possible.
Fantastic. And then, Laurence, so generally just wrapping up here with some closing remarks, I think we'll go to you first. Any future predictions for the space, anything we should see or could expect, or any learnings for everyone on the call?
So I think it's really just a conclusion of what we've discussed earlier today, everything. So I've just touched a bit on the the deprecation of third-party cookie. I think in the future that's also a very important reason why app is becoming more and more important, because within apps there's just so much more you can do compared to browser. Of course, in the future without the third-party cookie, I know some big companies are exploring new products to adapt to the change. Google has a sandbox as other advertising products in the post third-party cookie world. But I think there will still be some limitations when it comes to tracking and for advertisers in the browser. So as I mentioned in app, the very first thing is you have first-party cookie, first-party data. You collect your users' information. You have their consent every time when they log in. And you can use that, use their activities, within the app to analyze their behavior. So then you can have personalized recommendations within the app. And I think now a lot of apps, they offer guess you like this section. I think this conversion, I guess the conversion in this section is usually like very high because it's really personalized. And also second, within app, since they don't have to log in all the time, so they always have the saved shopping carts ready. So I think that would also increase the conversion, by a much higher rate. That's another thing. So the third thing is, since you're just in your app and it's all your advertising within the app is very much targeted. So you can have very targeted advertising for your campaigns, and that's a very good way to optimize your campaigns as well. So the last thing, the last point is definitely the attribution and measurement. And within app, you can develop all kinds of tools to, for the attribution and measurement. And we all know that in advertising and marketing, attribution is very important. As Jenny mentioned, you need to reward the publishers, and also the measurement. Without measurement, it's very hard to optimize your campaigns. And after every campaign of the publishers, publishers and merchants, both sides, we spend a lot of time analyze the data and try to optimize campaign for the next time. So I think those four things are the I would say the main reasons why the app is the future and mobile is the king in the future, especially in APAC.
Yeah, I'd imagine for the merchants, with the things you mentioned, like personalization and saving your cart, the conversion rate for a merchant would probably be better in app than mobile too. Before we go to the Q&A, yes, Cenila, any closing thoughts or remarks or anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I just want to raise the retailers' attention to the importance of mobile. Again, we talk a lot about that today. Other mobile is actually really dominating the APAC market. So we would very much like to see more app tracking enablement, so we could work together, like join force with the retailers and merchants, and really to drive the long-term development and expansion of this affiliate commerce market together.
Fantastic. Jenny?
Yeah, and ring us up. We're very happy to just let you know like what are the different options, what are your needs, and we can tackle it. It's not such a difficult I think we have to change our mindset and see if there are easier ways. Let's try that first and be able to take that first step and change the status quo. So yeah, do talk to us to find out more.
Okay. Great. And I think for publishers who, if you up until before this call, you never even thought about in-app tracking and just assumed it works. I think a great point would be to start questioning your top partners and retailers and merchants too. Is the app tracking working? Are we losing attribution there too? Yes, there's some good takeaways there for everyone on the call. To kick off the Q&A, Laurence, I know you said during your presentation you were keen to hear about, from the panel, the pros and cons for mobile browser shopping versus app. And I'll be the first to put my hand up and say I'm team mobile browser. And it's funny, though, when you reflect on the behavior, I would never think to do anything but open the app for Instagram or Uber Eats or so many apps like that. But I think the difference is potentially with shopping, we're starting with search, as Cenila said too. And I realized, reflecting on my behavior, I actually hate it. There's one particular merchant who, when you get a search result, it'll take you to open the app. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the app. Take me back to the browser. So I think some of them force it, and some just, I think the majority of Australian retailers that I've observed, allow you, they respect the user's choice. So if you started on mobile, in the mobile browser, you remain there. But it'll be interesting to see, I think, if more retailers start to force that, taking you from a search result instead of opening a mobile page to an app or not to, how many adopt that. Jenny, Cenila, any thoughts on your own personal preferences?
Well, my personal preferences would be the app, actually. As Laurence mentioned, there are much more functionality available on the app. Like you can bookmark things, you can put it in your wish list, you could save it to your shopping cart for the moment and think about it later. And also in general, the app user experience loading speed is actually much quicker and smoother than you open your mobile web. So that's why personally, I would prefer to check the app on the go. So we do sometimes start with mobile search, right, on your Safari and so on, and then it takes you to the app. But I think it's fine, right? Because I know the merchants are or I actually purchased from them before. That's why I have the app in store. So I wouldn't mind to take one extra step to go back to my search result and to navigate other options.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Jenny, anything to add?
Yeah, I like to add, so for me, when I shop, I tend to do it at night after my daughter is in bed. And at that point of time, I'm just very tired and, I don't want to open up my laptop. So I'm on my bed and I'm on my mobile phone and I'm just, browsing and shopping. So it's a matter of convenience to me. Like I had a long day. I put my daughter to sleep. I just want to relax on my bed and shop on my phone. So because of that, I would rather just do it on the app and on mobile rather than desktop. So it's personal preference on like the time of the day and how tired you are. So yeah, that's for my personal preference.
Okay, so if we're scoring the panel, then it's 3 out of 4 vote for in-app shopping versus mobile browser shopping. Okay, so just going over to the questions, we've got one. So what CPA would you recommend for in-app sales? The same as web sales? So if users have already downloaded the app, kind of that internal marketing effort's achieved. So this person says less CPA might be more reasonable. So Jenny, I might throw that one to you. You have the experience with merchants and retailers. What do you think of varying CPAs for app?
Yeah, so I think in terms of like this would really depend on the advertisers' needs, so the merchants' needs. If they want to try out with like a smaller CPA to just get a sense of how's the conversion like, we can do that. So there isn't like a hard and fast rule or like what is the recommended. I would say let's start with a CPA first, and then we can see whether the publisher thinks that that's a fair. So we also have to take into the publisher's perspective too. So if we feel that the publisher has like a minimum CPA that they need to work with, and that's where we kind of have to have that discussion. So I would say we should think about which publishers you want to test this out with, and then have an open conversation with that publisher and to determine what's the best rate.
Okay. Great. And we've got another question there, from a retailer as well too. So this retailer said they do track in-app orders, but as Jenny said, it was an intense fight with the tech team to get it implemented. It sounds like nothing with tech teams for anyone happens without fights, publisher and merchant or retailer side. So what this retailer is looking at doing in the next few months is to increase number of app installs. Do you think it's possible to combine app install and first purchase in app as a publisher commission? So Jenny, that's probably another one for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do track install and app orders too. So I think we can try to come up with a combination structure that works for both. So in terms of app install, I think we do have to be wary that like we do have in terms of like do you only want to commission for unique user IP or for people who uninstall? So there are some like nuances like of like what is qualified as an install. So we can work those out, but it's definitely doable in terms of like setting up a campaign that has install and app orders.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also want to add a bit on that. So at Skimlinks, we also support this as well. So we work on different transaction models. We have CPA, CPC, and I know some networks now they do CPI as well. So which is install. So they do CPI as well, and just to increase the app installs. And as Jenny mentioned, Rakuten has already started doing this track the installs, and we have very good integration and full transparency with Rakuten. And I think if you want to enable this on our side, it will be also quick win for us as well, and we can do CPI, explore CPI in the future if there's what most of the merchants needed in the future.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks everyone. We're almost at time, so I think we'll wrap it up here. But thank you so much, Jenny, Cenila, and Laurence for your insights. I'm going to try my best now to shop in app, not mobile browser. Thank you for everyone for attending, and the recording will be available to participants who've registered too, who might not have been able to make it today. If you want to share that with any of your colleagues who haven't joined. So thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Cenila. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.